Hello, gamers from around the world. This is Boxenberger, the video game enthusiast from Germany, and I would like to welcome you to this week's episode of The World of Gaming. And we started about 30 minutes late because this gentleman here, right next to me, on the screen at least, next to me, had to work late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuck in the office.
So, sorry for the delay, guys, but a big welcome to everyone who joins us here live today. A big welcome to everyone who listens after the fact, either here on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you are listening. A big welcome. And Dutch, my man, how are you doing after such a long work day?
Yeah. Yes, I'm good. I've just come straight in, fed the cat, and now I'm here. So
There we go.
So yeah, long work day, but it's going to be pretty much all hands on deck up until December, and then we should have December completely off. So it's worth it for a month off work.
Absolutely. Lucky you. I only get one day off, and that's tomorrow because we have a national holiday tomorrow.
Yeah, but you get national holidays like all of the time. So I
mean, the last one we had was in May or so. In May, though, we have quite a few. We have like 3 holidays in May. It's like
our last one was in August, and that's the last one for the year. But you've got two more to look forward to.
Yeah, tomorrow and then one in November.
Yeah,
there we go. Us lucky Germans. All right, but we are not here to talk about holidays, and we are here to talk about gaming. And there's quite some interesting and spicy stuff this week, Dutch. And of course, we will get right to it. But first, let me welcome our awesome community again. And it's always great to see you guys. And I'm looking forward to hear your guys' thoughts, either in the chat for those who watch live or in the comments for those who listen after the fact. And but before we dive into all the good stuff and the bad stuff that happened this week, that we need to talk about the most important part in gaming, and that are the games that we are currently playing. And so,
Indeed.
Everyone in the chat, let us know what has kept you busy over the last week. And Dutch, what have you been playing?
Well, first of all, Dustin's been very rude in the chat there.
Feed the cat is some kind of innuendo. No, Dutch actually has a cat.
I actually fed the cat. Yeah. To be fair, again, just because of work, I really haven't been gaming too much. Obviously, I did get FC 26, so I have played that a little bit. I'm going to be honest, I really don't notice any difference. I was expecting, because of all the good rave reviews, that it was going to be markedly different to last year's, but having not long played quite a bit of FC 25 in career mode, I don't notice any marked difference, whether or not you're playing on the authentic mode or otherwise. Kind of feels the same to me. New kits, new stadiums, the players are in the right teams, etc. So, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I've been playing a bit of that. It's still FIFA. I still enjoy it as much as the people who play it.
We're not allowed to call it FIFA anymore.
Football Club 26, yeah. But yeah, as much as I'm as the people that play it religiously every day, every week, playing pro clubs or playing Ultimate Team, moan about it all the time, for the regular person who doesn't play it as often, it's good. It does the trick. It's a football game, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, that's fine. And other than that, I started a new save on the run-up for the new Pokemon Legends ZA on Arceus, Legends Arceus. So I've been playing that a bit. Again, handheld. So I'm definitely more looking forward to picking up ROG Ally X later on in the year, when I've actually checked on the Asus website, and Asus directly have all of the ROG Allies, Xbox Allies available, but no Xbox Ally X is available. It just says notify me.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's updated come end of November. If not, I'll maybe search some of the retailers near me to see if they've got any in stock and things like that. But yeah, I mean, the more I'm playing handheld, the more I'm arching towards that as an easier access point.
Yes, absolutely. We'll talk about the ROG Ally in a second.
Yeah.
Because quite some things have happened since our podcast last week, and of course we need to cover that. But sweet, let's see what the community has been playing. First of all, Dustin in the chat says he has every other Friday off due to having too much PTO.
Fair.
Fair. Paul AFC has been playing Hogwarts Legacy after buying it before the Gamepass drop.
And I've been telling them that he's like, it's even if you're not a Potterhead, it matters not because it has nothing to do with Harry Potter.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it's the world, and that's about it.
Yeah, but it's a great world, and I still think Hogwarts Legacy is an exceptional, well done game. They wrote their own story that has its own right, and the story was great, but they kept so much of the lore, so many places you're familiar, if you're familiar with the books or the movies, and it is a fantastic game. It truly is.
They've got little Easter eggs in there, like in a room upstairs, if anybody does watch or has liked the Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
Especially the later episodes, I may as well call them episodes, there's 8 of them. The later films, there's like little hidden parts within the game that harken back to it. For instance, there's a room inside of Hogwarts where you can see the snapped wand where that Harry broke. His wand that he broke and he had to live in someone else's. That's upstairs in a little jar and things in a secret room in one of the rooms. And so there's a load of little secret things that go to the films.
Yes.
But they're all like little secret Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that, like you say, the world's fantastic. Graphically, it's beautiful. Yeah. The music's fantastic. The storyline's great. It is just a great one-off game.
Absolutely. And it just became play anywhere. And then a day later or 2 later, it dropped on Game Pass. Indeed. So whilst we are all subscribed,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So, what else? Dustin has been playing Deep Rock Galactic Survivors, and he says the game is a grind but fun. Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen anyone play that. So good, Dustin. Good stuff. Agent X-Force is still playing Dragon Age Veilguard. He's getting through it slowly, but like Dutch, he's busy, so he has less gaming time these days.
Yeah.
It's this time of the year where I think a lot of people have the urge for more gaming time.
Oh God, yeah. We just don't have it.
We just don't have it. But that's a good thing about games, right? You can play them whenever you have the time, and but Dragon Age Veilguard is so good. I still don't understand why this game got so much hate. I get the discussion around the woke stuff, but overall, this is just a super fun game. Absolutely. So yeah, what have I been playing? I have, for the very most part, played Borderlands 4.
Yeah, I've noticed that when I look on my Xbox app.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there he is, playing again. That's like 8 o'clock in the morning when I go to work. There's Boxy playing Borderlands.
No, I don't play in the morning.
Yeah, 8 o'clock my time. Though,
yeah, your time. Yeah.
Even still, I'm on the way to work and there's you playing Borderlands. Like, you little shit.
It is what it is.
The perks of working from home.
It's such an addictive game, honestly. I know it's nothing revolutionary. There's really nothing you haven't seen in other games, in either other open world games or other Borderland games, but it's just well done. The guns feel really good. The shooting feels really good. the RPG system is super fun. Like, it invites you, to try different skill sets, because respecking is pretty cheap, so it's
Good.
good, really good. Um, there's tons of stuff to discover. It's a super well done open world. It invites you to explore, find awesome, really good side quests. Not these like standard fetch quests. Some of the side quests are even longer than some of the main missions.
Yeah.
With great boss fights, great world events that are super hard, like, but super rewarding. Um, it is it has this typical Borderlands humor. I mean, the bad guy really isn't like Handsome Jack.
Yeah, but no one's going to be Handsome Jack. I was
Yeah,
going to say
and
they've
it's
never, unfortunately, ever risen to, and that's I think what Borderlands fans really wanted back was someone on the level of Handsome Jack. But it's
yeah,
hard to replace that.
that is true. But I kind of feel like often developers, if they had such an iconic character or something like that, they try to mimic and imitate that, and
Yeah,
in a new character or something, and they
it kind
didn't
of.
even try that, and I kind of
Yeah,
appreciate it, because
yeah,
the bad guy is just a bad guy, like this
yeah.
overarching menace that has he doesn't need to be like Handsome Jack, and it's
Kind of like Far Cry though, with because they tried it multiple times to try and get as good as Vass
yeah.
from Far Cry 3, and they
Yeah.
never managed it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this time they didn't try to get a second handsome Jack in there. They just have a good bad guy, a regular bad guy, and it's a good storyline, right? Um, I I'm playing as as the tank class, kind of, yeah,
Yeah,
which is very much a lot of fun, really, really good. Um, they have this glider system, very similar to what you have in Destiny, where you just press the right D-pad button, and you summon like glider that you can use for to get around more quickly. Um,
yeah,
Very diverse open world with great set pieces, different environments, and everything. So, man, I'm really enjoying my time, having a blast with it, playing a lot of the side quest stuff, and that's always a good sign, right? I'm not
yeah,
in no rush to get through it, even though there's so much other stuff I kind of want to play, but
yeah,
it's really, really good. So that has kept me mostly busy. I've tried to continue Silksong. I think I'm at the final boss, but he's kicking my ass. And I'm just stuck there. And then after 30 minutes of trying and trying, and the annoying part of like having to travel from the last save point to this final boss, it's kind of getting on my nerves, and then
yeah,
I just want to play Borderlands. So I tried a little bit in Silksong, and as much fun as it was till this boss, um I'm intrigued to give up, honestly.
yeah.
um but yeah, I think that's it for me for the most part. It's Borderlands all over the place, man. Oh, I did one thing though, Dutch.
Oh, go
My
on.
my little one, he's not allowed to do that, but he dug through my stuff and he found my old 3DS.
Oh,
And then I knew I had it somewhere, but he found my old 3DS with my entire 3DS collection, and then we I showed him. I have all my Game Boys. The
yeah,
Game Boy, the OG Game Boy, the Game Boy Advanced. I have. I don't have the DS anymore because I sold that to get the 3DS, but still have the 3DS. And then I played around with my son on the old Game Boys for quite a while over the last couple of days. Dude, so much fun. And it is, I know, this is a father's thing, but it is so cool to see your own son, who is 9 years old now, sitting there with this freaking old Game Boy.
Yeah.
Playing.
Was it the grey one as well? The old grey one?
The old grey one. Yeah. With the purple buttons and.
Yeah.
and you see, and we had so much fun digging through the 3DS games, the OG Game Boy games. We played some Game Boy Color games on the Game Boy Advance. And it is such a joy to see this little dude sitting there just like me when I was 9 years old. Because I was like, I think I was 8 or 9 when I got that Game Boy. And now I see my son sitting there. Yeah, man. That's the spirit. It's so awesome. I didn't find the charger for the 3DS at first, but then I ordered one off of Amazon. Nice. I don't have Pokemon. I don't have that. But I introduced him to
the Japanese one. I got it in the UK before it officially released.
Nice.
So it was all in Japanese. I never actually ended up playing it because it's Japanese.
Hang on one sec. Yeah, since we're showing off, most of the games are upstairs at the moment, but
all these
I didn't remember that I had it. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 for the Game Boy Color. I have that as well. And then we have, I've introduced him to this awesome gem. I don't know if you remember that from I can't open the box. From the Fortress of Fear. You remember that?
Oh God, yes.
And it was so funny. I gave my son this one and Super Mario Land. Yes, sweet, good stuff. There. Oh yeah.
14 Tomcat.
14 Tomcat. That is. You remember this one?
Oh. Yes.
And he was like, Super Mario Land. Nice, Doom. I didn't have that on the Game Boy Advance. Now we're showing off retro collections here, dude.
Rainbow
I'm
Six
inclined to get upstairs.
Jesus Christ!
This is not a good segment for the people that do listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
F-Zero, GT Championship.
What else?
Well,
remember this?
Got more hidden somewhere, but yeah. God, hey.
Good stuff we have there, man. Good stuff. And my little one was so surprised how hard Super Mario Land is.
Yeah.
There's no saving, and you have to start all over again if you turn it off.
Yeah.
And it was like it's been a blast, dude. It has been a blast.
There's a little known fact about that as well, actually. The first Nintendo game to get game saves was Zelda.
Yeah.
That was the first Nintendo game to officially get game saves, was Zelda.
Yeah.
Before that, there was no saves.
There was no saves. there was nothing. And it is kind of, it reminded me of how crazy. I mean, you can beat Super Mario Land in like 30 minutes. It's because these games were so super short. They kind of had to be hard to justify.
Yeah, otherwise you'd beat the entire thing.
Yep. Yeah.
In a single sitting.
But it's funny to see that for a kid in that age who grew up with Mario Odyssey, which was his very first Mario game, and he was like, "Daddy, why is this so hard?" And I was like, "Dude, that's how we played games."
Yep.
It was.
If you ever give them a classic game to play, they'll never beat them.
Yeah,
they'll never beat them.
Never.
Well, they don't know what hard is. I think Souls games are hard. Absolutely not.
No,
You play an old
no.
Sega or Nintendo game.
80% of
original
my Game Boy
Battletoads.
collection is harder than the Souls game.
Yeah, play the
Yeah.
original Battletoads. Go on, have fun.
Absolutely. So, all right. I love retro gaming, man. And now I gave him Zelda Ocarina of Time on the 3DS.
Nice. Yeah.
And I played it myself for a little bit. It's still so good, man. It is still so good. All right. All right.
That's also kind of what I like about like the emulators that Nintendo provide, because they do give access to you to download those and play the classics.
I tried that, like,
and it does also have save states for them as well, so you can come in and out of them as much as you want, and your save state stays there.
That's awesome. It's a really awesome stuff for us. I tried it with my son a while ago. Can't even remember which game. I think it was also one of the Zelda games that are on the emulator. The problem is, though, they are all in English. There's no German version available, and like for at that time he was like 8 years old. Speaking not a word. It's kind of not a good way to play them games. But now with the Game Boys, it's super awesome, man. And we're having fun. Good stuff there. Good stuff. All right, Dutch. Let us get into some news. We already briefly touched on some ROG Ally topic kind of thing. So, like literally 3 or 4 hours after we finished our last podcast, the pre-orders for the ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X went online. With that, the official price. And it's 900 euros for the LEX and 600 for the, let's call him the LES. So I did get my pre-order down.
Well done.
Unfortunately, Amazon didn't have pre-orders for it, so I had to.
No, local retailers.
Yeah, I don't have local retailers anymore here close by, so I had to order it via MediaMarkt, and I swore myself after my debacle with the PS5 to never order something there, because I also pre-ordered the PS5 there at MediaMarkt, and I hope none of our community guys work at MediaMarkt here, but it's a shit company, and they delivered it like 3 months late. Didn't want to give me a refund. It was like, but now it was the only option to pre-order here. So I tried it again. After 5 years, of like boycotting them. I did but I did get my pre-order down. Probably one of the last ones, because like 30 minutes later, a friend of mine called me, and the LEX at least was already gone. The LES was.
There's still plenty of LES available.
LES, but the LEX pre-orders sold out pretty fast. Like literally after a day or so, the headlines were it's sold out, or like globally, basically everywhere. So even though with the now, of course, this doesn't mean anything, because we don't know how many they have on stock. If they have like 3 ROG Allys on stock, this doesn't mean much. But obviously, the demand is still there. Even though it's a pretty hefty price point. So let us talk about the price point first. What are your thoughts, man? Now that it's official.
It's where we expected it. We said it was going to be about 800, and it came in at, well, for us, I thought it was going to be about 800 quid, and it came in at 800 quid. It was kind of exactly where I expected it, to be honest. Yeah,
somewhere in between 800 to 900 is what we expected, right? I know. I think it's kind of the first console I at least can remember. Maybe someone can fact check that, but I can't think of another console that was more expensive in the US than in Europe,
Yeah.
which is kind of insane because it's like $1,000 in the US, right? But still, demand seems pretty high. I mean, it is a hefty price point to ask, but we
Yeah.
need to say at least two things in their defense. The first is this isn't a subsidized hardware, right? It's
Yeah.
still made by Asus, and Asus doesn't make a single buck after selling this device to you. They don't have a store. They don't have any other way to monetize this device afterwards. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a non-subsidized hardware, right? And at least in Europe, they kept it at under 1,000, at 900. Now, is it worth it to you? This is a very, very subjective thing.
Very subjective. But I would say
Right?
if you're a hardcore gamer, absolutely. If you're not and you're kind of sitting on the fence, maybe try the
Yeah.
Xbox Ally.
I'm selling mine. So if you're up to, I'm selling my OG Ally.
Yeah. Anybody in the chat?
There you go. Need to put
Yeah.
it up.
I'm going to be picking up an X in, like you say, they'll be, by the time I want one anyway, they'll be back in stock. So
Yeah, probably. You're looking towards a November buy, right? They
yeah,
should
end of
be
November.
back
Yeah,
in stock.
they'll
Yeah.
be back in stock by then.
Yeah.
Or at least somebody will have one in. Obviously, scalpers are trying to sell them on eBay for like $1.5 or $2,000 or something stupid, but don't do it.
Yeah.
They're definitely not worth that. No, I mean, if you want to just to test out the regular Ally, there's all of them in stock. At every retailer, everybody has the regular Xbox Ally, the regular version.
And I must admit, if I wouldn't have owned the original Ally and got introduced into the awesomeness that is such a handheld where you can play all your regular games, right? Not because before I got the PC handhelds like the Steam Deck, the OG Ally, and the OG Lenovo and so on got popular. Handheld gaming was always kind of like the Game Boy experience. Yeah, you had these dedicated handhelds that had like the dedicated handheld games, and that was handheld gaming. And with the Switch, this was the first console where you were able to actually play your console games in handheld mode. Then
and that was it.
But the problem is that most of the games we play were not on the Switch, right? The Switch was all about the Nintendo games. You play your Marios and your Zeldas on there, but that's like a handful of games, 2-3 games a year, and most of the stuff you usually play was locked off. And this is very different with such a PC handheld, right? Of course, obviously, you can play the Play Anywhere titles there. You have the option of console streaming, so you can play your console games. And guys, I can't emphasize this enough. I've said it before on the podcast, but console streaming is very different from cloud streaming, right?
Yeah.
There's barely noticeable, if honestly, in 99% of the cases, I don't notice the latency. The image quality is significantly better. You just pick up your console game, play it there via console streaming. You have your Steam library there, and you have all these regular games. And then it became not a thing because up until that point, handheld, I used my Switch for traveling reasons in handheld mode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with my OG Ally, it became a thing to play games on the thing. I played the Ally more at home than on travels.
Yeah.
Sitting in bed, sitting outside in the backyard, sitting next to the wife while she watches one of her Netflix shows, playing some games. This is just the handheld thing in handheld gaming to have a proper screen, a proper controller on your handheld, and then play Borderlands on that thing. You know, it's just an awesome experience. And if I hadn't experienced it with the OG Ally, I probably would have said, man, $900 for that thing that I play then twice a month whilst traveling somewhere. Not worth it for me. But
if it wasn't for the fact that I've been playing so much on the Switch recently, and appreciating the fact that, listen, I probably don't have anywhere near as much time as I did previously to sit on the console and game.
Yeah.
And now I can just, like, when I come in from work, okay, put that literally just punk it down on the sides and just leave it there for a second, go and do what I need to do, come back, pick it up again. Like, that convenience thing swaying me more to the side of, pick up an Ally.
Yeah,
because it's like the convenient factor of being able to gain, where otherwise I might have been just too tired to go upstairs, switch on the TV, switch on the console, get myself settled in the chair, and then sit there in front of the screen. Handheld gaming is so much more convenient. The busier I'm getting, the more convenient handheld gaming is.
Pixel Slapper in the chat says handheld is fine if you've got the young eyes. Well,
the one good thing about modern handheld gaming now is that the screens are significantly better than what they used to be. I'd agree. If we were still playing on like 2D and 3DSs and things like that, we'd be like, fuck no. Oh God, no.
Honestly, I have to think really hard. I've had the OG Ally now since its original launch a couple of years ago, and I have to think really, really hard about a game I've played where this was an actual issue, because the very vast majority automatically sets like fonts and everything towards the right size. And if they don't do it automatically, you can do it manually in the menu, and then it really isn't an issue. And I've played tons of games over the years now, big AAA games, small indie games, and everything in between on that thing excessively. And it is really, really not a problem. But yeah, Dutch. So the ROG Ally X, I can't wait for it. 2 more weeks. If MediaMarkt
I'll be wanting your full in-depth review on the podcast,
absolutely.
You can show it off in its glory. Did you see there was a chap? I've forgotten what country it was in. There was a chap that received his
in France,
way early.
Way early.
It's like, hey!
He deleted all his tweets and stuff. So
he probably got told to. Yeah. He probably got told to. Asus would have been like,
but he
get that down.
At least how I can judge it, he didn't break any rules. It was not like a review copy he got from someone. It was just Amazon delivering early. So anyway, he deleted that stuff. That shit sold out pretty quickly. You think this thing is going to be a success? Or is this just because of low numbers?
In terms of handhelds, I think it'll be a success, absolutely. And I think there's multiple factors around that. I think when people see, I think one of the things isn't just the fact that it's got Xbox on it. I think the ergonomics of it help. I think the fact that it's essentially an Xbox controller with a massive screen in between it helps, because ergonomically that feels so much better to play. And anybody will know when you pick up an Xbox controller, it's a nice feel on the hands. It's easy. It doesn't like cause your hand cramps or anything like that. Button positioning things is fine. So I think ergonomically that helps. Second of all, of course, you did up until yesterday have the Xbox name attached to it, which would have helped. And of course at that, have been able to access all of your games everywhere, and obviously the big push on Play Anywhere with most recent things as well, where I can get one game on one platform, and that is even if you're buying it. So even if you exclude Gamepass, which we'll get onto, and you're buying your games, and those are Play Anywhere titles, you can play it on your PC, you can play it on your handheld, you can play it on your console. It's entirely up to you what you do. I think that helps towards it as well. Of course, then additionally having access to your Steam library, etc. So it isn't just like just for Xbox people; it's for other people as well. The Asus fans as well who loved the ROG Ally, of course, want the next best version of it,
Absolutely.
and the next best version now has a new fancy controller essentially on it as well. So it's a good upgrade for them. They've got the newest chip. It's more powerful. It's more streamlined. Obviously, now it's integrated with Xbox, so it has more fancy features in it, including like the haptics and things that are built into it. So there's a lot for current fans of the Asus that are wanting to upgrade like yourself and get the next one anyway. And then there's, of course, the new fans that are coming in that are saying, okay, Xbox is attached to it, so now I can play all my Xbox games on the move via Play Anywhere. So it's not necessarily playing Xbox titles like it's PC titles, but now because they're pushing so hard on Play Anywhere, it allows you to play your Xbox games on the move. So there is, I think there's a bigger push for it because it is a more one shoe fits everyone approach, as opposed to Steam Deck, where the only way to get access to your Xbox Play Anywhere or Gamepass titles, etc., would be if you jailbroke that essentially and put the Windows on it as opposed to Steam OS. And same goes for the Lenovo Legion Go. I think, again, the Lenovo Legion's kind of same price bracket. Doesn't have any near as much of a favor as the ROG Ally or the Steam Deck has. So I think, I think it will do well. I think, and I mean, judging by the pre-orders anyway, at least early pre-orders show that it's done well. There's either two ways we can look at that as well, though. Is either pre-orders have done super well, and it's sold beyond expectation, or Xbox, Microsoft, Asus didn't expect pre-orders to be anywhere near as big as they are, and therefore they underestimated and just went, okay, like we expect to do this many units, so we'll only have like 500,000 units available. And then they've done 500,000 units and they're like, oops, whoops. And they've undervalued it. So it's either it is super popular and they've sold through an absolute buttload of units, or Microsoft and Asus didn't really expect that many to go, and they've only provided a few 100,000 units, and those initial ones have gone.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell whether or not it's an initial success or whether or not it was underestimated by them and they didn't have that many units available for pre-order and it's just surpassed expectations, or whether or not they had a lot of units available and it's again sold beyond expectations. So it's hard to judge so far on its actual success, but
Absolutely.
Being sold out on its pre-order status helps.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't tell much that it's being sold out. I think the more interesting part you can tell is, since and apparently it's not sold out everywhere. Monsquisitor FD in the chat says it's not sold out. So let us know from which
regular
country
Ally,
you're from.
The regular Ally isn't. The Ally X is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That was kind of interesting to see actually about this pre-order thing, that the Ally X was sold out, not the S. So demand for the beefier version,
the premium version,
premium version, is, from what we can tell now, definitely higher, just like we expected. Because if you invest into a handheld, PC handheld at that price point, with
PC handheld specifically, because if you think, we know from PCs in general anyway, if you get a low spec PC, the performance, and we're not just talking in gaming, we're just talking overall in general performance, isn't going to be that great. And it will translate into your games. So you will have, the vast majority of these games aren't going to be at decent quality, and they're going to be at relatively low FPS. Because of the capabilities of the machine. Yes, you can play your games on the move, but they're not going to look great or play overall that great. But they are, if you buy this one, you'll play in a decent resolution at decent qualities at a decent frame rate, and that's why people have went, nah, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly.
It's for it's a device for gaming enthusiasts.
Yeah.
For the most part, for the very most part, and the enthusiasts, they just want the power. They want the bigger SSD in there. They want the better battery life. They want all that good stuff, right? To
Yeah.
make it a really good experience for them. So I'm not too surprised about that fact, but it's still kind of interesting to see, because last week we speculated whether, well, the ROG Ally S is the device for the for parents to get to their kids, and maybe that changes then more towards like Christmas. Although I would expect that around Christmas, this is like it's Switch 2 time this year. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Can't wait 2 more weeks, and like you said, we will give our thoughts then in depth. I put up a poll in the chat.
Well, that's if Media Market deliver it on time.
Yes, please. I'm a little surprised here. We put
Otherwise,
up a
you'll
poll
see
in the
angry
chat.
Boxy after the 60.
You will see me outraged.
Angry old man shouting at clouds.
Yeah. Please, MediaMarkt, don't screw this up. Anyway, I put up a poll in the chat asking if someone pre-ordered the LEXS or nothing. I'm a little surprised. 100% voted for no. So apparently in our community.
To be fair, I mean, especially with a pre-order like that, you have to pay like $900 up front. So
yeah,
I can
true
understand.
That. I can understand. I absolutely understand. It is a tough price point to ask, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna close that poll real quick, and Dutch, let us move on from the Xbox Ally. And before we dive into the big Game Pass discussion, some other news. EA is getting acquired. There have been different reports over the last couple of days, weeks. The first report we saw was, well, they intend to buy back shares, right, to get more independent, and so on. Then we have seen different kinds of rumors. Now it's confirmed. EA is being acquired for $55 billion by a couple of investors, including Saudi Arabia's.
The Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, the Newcastle United owners.
Yeah, exactly. They said, well, this buyout will accelerate the strategic vision to advance the future of entertainment. Andrew Wilson will still stay as CEO. It's not being replaced or anything. I mean, pretty big acquisition. 55 billion, right? It's the second biggest acquisition in gaming history. EA is no more like independent. What are your thoughts on this, man? Will this behoove EA? Will this change anything? Will it change to the negative? Where are you standing on this, man?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. As it's been purchased by a public investment fund. Yes, it's Saudi Arabia. It's but it is their public investment fund. They don't invest in anything unless they wanted to make it succeed. Their strategic goal ultimately, and that's with everything they do. You're talking about Live Golf. Obviously, the Live Golf that PIF own, which is the golf group, which is merged with the PGA. Well, you talk about Newcastle United. They have an esports company that they've got built into that as well now that strictly does esports. Whatever they invest in, they go in full tilt and they want to make a profit. They don't do things half-hearted, and they always want to win. Now, the Saudis are always in direct competition with Qatari. They're always, okay, what they do, we need to win.
Yeah.
In terms of financial gain and financial benefits and success, they want to be successful with whatever they invest in, and they only invest in things if they're sure that they can turn it into an investment that succeeds and grows. They don't, from a football group point of view, when they've owned Newcastle have increased their revenues up to, it was pretty much borderline. We're talking about 90 million a year in revenues. They've increased that up to 340 million in 3 years per annum. So they know how to make a profit. They know how to get commercial partners on board. They know how to do business. So when it comes to Ubisoft and the decision-making processes going forward, they will absolutely get the right people involved, and they will not hesitate to change the people if the people aren't getting the job done. So yes, the current ownership and the current leadership is in place as it stands, but I can guarantee if they don't, over the first year of that ownership by PIF, start seeing improvements or start seeing the benefits of that leadership, they will change the leadership to make sure that it succeeds, because they don't want anything other than success. What will happen is the initial investment, like we're talking, they're buying them for 55 billion.
Yeah.
But they bought Newcastle for 300 million. They've already invested over 700 million of their own money into the club. That's not including the transfers of players that they've purchased. So if that's just a singular football club that they purchased for a fraction of the price of what they've purchased EA for. So in terms of game purchasing and covering the costs of the game development at 100 million or 150, that's an absolute drop in the ocean for an investment fund that's worth almost trillions, like the biggest investment fund in the world. So in terms of what we should expect is that they are going to aim to make this very successful because they want to win and they want to be the best at things. So will it be an overnight change? No. Will there be lots of changes at EA over the coming 12 months? Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of people getting changed. There's going to be a lot of people moving. There's going to be leadership changes if they think things aren't progressing as quick as they want it to happen. Will studios shut? Probably not, but leadership changes will happen at studios. They've got enough money to keep that entire thing afloat for as long as they wanted to keep it afloat. So it's not a case of this isn't making a profit, it's going to ditch it. They'll just change the leadership to make sure it does work.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you in the sense that they definitely will try to make this a very lucrative investment for them. Like any
and it's not just for them because it's a public investment fund. So it's something that it belongs to the public in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference in between other acquisitions where one company is then owned by another company, right? This is now a public funded thing. It will definitely change certain things. Let's see if it will change for the better, because if we are realistic, EA has been in a downward spiral for many years.
Yeah.
And honestly, Dragon Age Veilguard was the first good game that they've released in a long time. Other than that, they do their annual sport games, which at least I personally do really not have an interest in. And yes, Battlefield 6 is coming up. It does look great. And from the betas and so on, a lot of people really dig it. But if I look at their pipeline, there's only one game I'm actually interested in, and that is, of course, the next Mass Effect. Other than that, they really do not have that many great games in the pipeline. Oh, there were the Star Wars games. I forgot about those. Yeah, they were also pretty good. So, but yeah, what does it mean that this change? Are we going to see more games as a service and stuff like that? Do they think that's the direction they need to go to? Do they need to go back to the roots? Let's see about that. I just thought, well, the last big acquisition that comes to mind that is in a similar ballpark is obviously the ABK acquisition.
Yeah.
Now let's be realistic. Did that change things to the better for us gamers? Not talking about Microsoft and their stock value and the profit and the revenue they are making. Did it change things to the better? Things definitely got changed, obviously,
Yeah.
after this acquisition, right? And I'm not sure if EA, the thing with EA will go down the same route, because again, it's not a gigantic $1 trillion corporation now, but then also this PIF fund from the Saudis is not nothing that is a charity, right?
Yeah.
They also want to be profitable as much as they
Exactly.
can. So yeah, I mean, let's wait and see. I mean, it's kind of crazy to see, right? If you think about the gaming industry as a whole, how it has changed over the last 5 to 10 years. Like, obviously, Activision Blizzard King was one of the biggest publishers and gaming companies on the planet, right? Getting acquired, now part of Xbox and Microsoft. Then we see this now with EA, the second largest publisher in the world, getting acquired. We see Ubisoft also in the top 5 of biggest publishers that are now kind of sort of part of Tencent. Just this week they announced that the Tencent-backed subsidiary started its operation under the name Vantage Studios, right? Ubisoft still isn't fully owned by Tencent, but it's kind of that thing. So it's really a big shift in the gaming industry and landscape.
Yeah.
And I'm careful with excitement because for the very most part, most acquisitions didn't really lead to changes for the better for us consumers, right?
It's not going to change anything. It's definitely not going to change anything overnight. What it will happen is it'll be a measured approach to see how things work currently, and then they'll make within the next 12 months. You'll see a lot of changes, if not just after months. You'll see a lot of changes.
Exactly.
If things aren't the way they want them, they will change.
Yeah.
They're not like they don't sit back and just allow things to fester. They just get it done.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Dutch. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? I'm going to put up a poll here to get a feeling of how our community feels about this, and of course, let us know in the chat your thoughts on the biggest news item of the week. Yesterday, Xbox announced big changes for Xbox Game Pass, which was probably the best unique selling point for them at this point, right? Game Pass, everyone touted it to be the best value in gaming, and for some this hasn't changed, but for many people this has changed. So what actually happened? They announced 3 kind of new tiers, at least the structuring of them. We had these different tiers, right? Previously with Essential, Premium, and Ultimate. And there's PC Game Pass in that as well, which, at least to my knowledge, hasn't changed. But
I think the prices went up on PC Game Pass, but nothing has changed for them.
yeah. So they now have 3 plans, starting with the essential game plan, right? Which is kind of like the old gold subscription, which gives you access to online multiplayer and what they say 50 plus games that are then playable either on PC, console, or cloud for $10 a month. Yeah. Then they have the middle tier, the premium tier, which gives you access to 200 plus games. Also, of course, multiplayer, some in-game benefits.
Excludes Call of Duty.
It excludes Call of Duty, and you will get Xbox games, but not day one anymore, but within the first year of launch. This is then priced at a very similar price point than the previous Ultimate tier at $15 a month. I think it's also 15 US dollars. Don't know from the top of my head the price in the UK. It's 50 euros here. And then we have the Ultimate subscription, which gives you the whole deal, right? Access to more than 400 games, day and date games. They advertised it with 75 plus day one titles per year. You will get new benefits that haven't been in there previously. You will get Ubisoft Plus Classics, which is some of the older Ubisoft games, some older Assassin's Creed games, Far Cry games, Watch Dogs games, and so on. And you will get the Fortnite subscription, what is called Crew, Fortnite Crew or something. And some in-game benefits for Riot Games, right? And of course, cloud streaming and online multiplayer and so on.
Yeah.
But that thing costs then 27 euros and I think 30 US dollars, which is a pretty hefty price increase, around about 50% of price increase, almost double the price than it has previously been. And as you can imagine, the reactions were, I wouldn't even call it mixed. Most people I've seen, at least, have been super angry about this. And there are some people out there still saying it's worth it for them, but I've seen more people being really, really angry about this. Face23 BKNY sends in a $2 super chat. Thank you so much for the support. He says, Game Pass is no longer the best deal in gaming. And I think that is the sentiment that a lot of people kind of feel. Yeah. So there's lots to dissect on this, Dutch.
Yeah.
My initial thought is, I mean, eventually we all expected some sort of price increase, just like every other subscription service that we had increased over the years. When we first subscribed to Netflix here, I think it was 8 euros a month. Now we are at 16 or 17 euros.
Yeah.
But so, yeah.
Disney,
but it wasn't
Disney,
the same, Amazon Prime, everything, Spotify, everything increased over the years. But I didn't expect such a huge increase. I was like, okay, then it's €1 or €2 more a month or so. And then 2 years later, they increased it another €2 and something like that. But to basically, I mean, it was $15 here, and now we are at 27. That's almost doubling the price overnight, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to have still day one access to the games, of course, there's always the option of right out buying them, but if you want them through a subscription service, it's 27 euros, 30 US dollars a month. Yes, people have been arguing they've added more value to that, and that is factually not wrong, right? There is the Ubisoft Classic thing, there's the Fortnite subscription in there, and a bunch of stuff for Riot games. But before I give my judgment on it, what are your thoughts?
I don't think this would have went down anywhere near as bad if it wasn't the Ubisoft Classics and it was the Ubisoft Full.
That would be a very different story then.
Because then you're getting something that's a benefit. The games that you get in Classics are just games that everyone owns that they want to own at this point. Nobody gives a crap about the games that are in Ubisoft Classics at this point. They've played them.
Played them.
Everyone knows
they
what
can
Ubisoft
get them
games
for
are.
$2
like the old Assassin's Creed, the old Crew.
Yeah.
Like the only one on there that I've seen that I didn't, for some reason, I don't own Rayman Legends. I could have sworn I owned Rayman Legends.
How can you not own Rayman Legends?
I don't know how. Well, this is what's
like
confusing.
$3.
No, this is what's confusing me, because I swore I owned Rayman Legends. And I was searching in my game library the other day, and I looked at Rayman, and I've got the old Xbox 360 Rayman, but I don't have Rayman Legends. I was like, but I did. I know I did because I've played it. And I was so confused, but it's not in the library anymore. So I'm like, well, I can play Rayman Legends again. But other than that, I don't care about anything else there, because it's not like day one access to the Ubisoft titles, which is the only benefit people would have by having Ubisoft included within Xbox Ultimate. So that isn't a benefit, I don't think, that justifies a £10 increase per month. It isn't. Like, there's none of them type of games that justify that.
I mean, there
and
might
I don't
be people
care about
out
Fortnite getting battle passes and shit. Like, whoever's playing Fortnite is playing Fortnite already, and they're already getting battle passes.
I've seen the argument. You don't complain about Netflix having shows that you're not watching, right?
Yeah, but the problem I've got here is, and this is a problem more for Fortnite, that isn't going to help them. The people that they have that play Fortnite on Xbox already and might have Ultimate are no longer going to be buying the battle passes, because the battle passes are included in Ultimate.
Yeah.
So it's Fortnite that's going to be losing out, because the people who do stick around to play Fortnite's Crew or Fortnite and get the battle passes will no longer be buying the battle passes from them. And Xbox are losing out, because the people who were subscribed to Ultimate are now paying an extra £10 more for something that they don't give a shit about. And they're not getting any additional benefits that are going to benefit them. In my opinion, anyway, for me, I always, when we spoke, because we've spoke about, okay, it will have an increase, and we spoke about this, especially when they did the acquisition originally. At some point, there's going to be an increase, and it's going to be probably a big increase. But I don't think we expected 50% more, almost doubling the cost, if not doubling the cost of the subscription. I always said I can probably live with it going up to about 20, from 15 to 20, an extra $5 a month.
Yeah,
I can justify that. Like, you're still getting a lot of value. I can understand them increasing it because they've purchased something, and therefore they need to make sure that they can cover the cost of that purchase that they've done, that they've invested in, and the consumer ultimately pays that in the long run. But to double the cost and not provide double the value.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, they've added value to it. Whether that value is for you or not depends, of course, on your gaming preference. But I feel like a lot of people that are invested in Gamepass at the moment are not the typical Fortnite players. I would
Yeah.
go out and claim that. Prove me
Yeah.
wrong. There. It's because if you for who is the target audience for Game Pass? It's the gaming enthusiasts, right? That want to play different games, that want to experience a shooter and then an RPG and maybe check out some of the indie games, and that's not the usual typical Fortnite player. The Fortnite player is the Fortnite player. He turns on his console to play Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
That kind of gamer isn't intrigued by exploring all the awesome games that you get through Game Pass. Maybe that's their way of thinking there. How can we get the Fortnite player? Those millions of players out there that play nothing else but Fortnite. How can we get them out of this? Okay, let's put the Fortnite subscription into Game Pass. And then they might try something else and we get them out of this just Fortnite revenue thing, especially when you think a little ahead into the next gen, when the next Xbox console most likely becomes a PC, and they will not make a single buck out of all those Fortnite players that play on the Epic Store, because it is a PC and Xbox isn't getting a cut of that revenue anymore. And how can we get those out of just playing Fortnite? Maybe that's their way, one of the way of thinkings that they had when doing this. But for the current subscriber of Game Pass, right? I don't think that there are too many out there. Yeah, there will be one or two or three guys, obviously, but most probably are not the typical Fortnite players that are interested in a crew subscription. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we talk about Ubisoft Classics. Don't get me wrong, there's some great games in there. I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. I enjoyed most of the Far Cry games, and Watch Dogs 3 was awesome. And stuff like that. But it's very old Ubisoft games. You can get them for like $3 in every sale. I've browsed through that list. There's not a single Ubisoft Plus classic game that I would play, because
that I don't already own.
Yeah, exactly. Because the ones that I do want to play, I do already own them. So there's really nothing. So for me, it's basically more or less double the price for the same value.
Get the same thing. It's just costing more, significantly more.
I think a lot of people still feel that way. Now, is double the price still a good bargain then? Is the question we need to ask, right? I mean,
it depends on how much
it really depends.
Play.
Exactly. And what you play and how you play it. I haven't decided yet whether to keep it or not, because there's multiple ways I look at this. The one thing I'm thinking of is, well, they said 75 plus day one games. What are those games? Because realistically, we don't have 75 plus day one games this year. We had maybe like 20 or something.
Yeah, but they're also including indies.
Yes, of course. But like this year, I'm also including indies, and we had like, I want to say 20, maybe it was 25, something in that ballpark so far. Day one games, right, this year. So they kind of have to like triple those day one games in the next year. There will be tons of indies of those. I do agree, but is it something more, right? Do we get one of the bigger releases as well day one in there, or double A releases like an Expedition 33 this year or something? Do we get something? will we get more of those kind of games? That's the one thing, of course, I'm asking myself. The other question that I'm asking myself is, why am I subscribed to Game Pass? I'm subscribed because it lets me explore tons of games that I wouldn't have usually bought. Because realistically, if I think about it, even though Xbox had a fantastic year of first-party games, which one of those would if there was no Game Pass this year, and Xbox would have released this launch lineup that they had this year, which one would I actually have bought and went out and spent $70? That would have been Avowed, yeah. I would have bought Expedition 33 right out of the gate, but that wasn't even a full price game. I would have bought Silksong, which was $20. So would I have bought the Gears remaster? Most likely not. I have played Gears 1. I've bought it twice because I bought the Ultimate Edition many years ago. So I did play it. It was free anyway. They gifted it to those who bought the Ultimate Edition, I know. But yeah, so would I have bought Oblivion, the remaster? Maybe in a sale? I wouldn't have bought it at launch.
Nope.
I didn't have the time to play it anyway during that time. I was happy to get it for free, quote unquote free, yeah, in the subscription. But I didn't have the time to play it through Oblivion again. I would have bought it eventually in sale for $10, $20. So, and what other day one Game Pass release would I have actually bought this year? Outer Worlds 2, which will come out, yeah. I wouldn't have bought the Ninja Gaiden remake. I wouldn't have bought it if I had to pay full price for it. I was happy to play it through Game Pass, but I wouldn't have invested $70. So realistically, out of those, I would have bought Grounded 2. I would have bought that, but also not a full price game, right? So
yeah,
$30. So yes, I'm willing to pay for that subscription, that it gives me the option to play games I wouldn't have normally bought and played. I would have done that. And I'm happy to pay for that. But how much am I willing to pay for that? This is the question I'm asking myself now.
Yeah.
Am I willing to pay 360 euros a month, a year?
Yeah, a month? No, definitely not.
No. Yeah, definitely
Absolutely not. No,
absolutely not. So, yeah, then, so realistically, this year, it wouldn't have been a plus for me. Is this going to change next year? Maybe, because next year looks pretty awesome with Gears, Forza, Halo, Fable, right? That's 4 big bangers. But even if I buy all of those 4 at full price, I'm still not recovering this. And the question I'm asking myself, how much am I willing to spend extra on the fact that I can check out tons of games? This is the essential question it comes down to for me.
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Mine's a little bit more streamlined. So, am I going to cancel Game Pass? No. And the only reason I'm saying that is I've already this year cut out the ones that I don't use to a good degree. I've already cancelled a bunch of subscription services that I no longer use. I cancelled Amazon Prime. I was refusing to pay just to not have ads. Same for
I have
Disney
the with ad version because I have the Amazon Prime for shipping, actually, not for the service.
But even then, I've found I rarely use Amazon for shopping or bits anymore. So on those certain occasions when I do need it, I usually just sub for a month, get my delivery's done, a couple of batch orders, and then cancel it immediately. So I've got me free shipping for that, or the cheaper shipping, should I say, for one month. Watch a couple of films, delete it.
Yeah.
But that's just a one-off thing, and I don't. Other than that, Disney I cancelled because again I refuse to pay just to not have access to ads. I get Netflix for only $5 a month through my my TV provider, so I get the premium version of Netflix for a significant discount. And same for Apple TV, I get that for $5 a month through my bank. So I don't have that's super cheap, and I don't have the ad versions for those, so I don't have to worry about them. So I've cut out the equivalent of about $30 worth of subscriptions on two movie services that I no longer watch, because I can stream a lot of those things online, sailing the seas. So I don't have to worry about that. So I've cut out things that I don't need and keeping things that I do use. And much like you, I use Game Pass not just for the Xbox Day One things. And listen, I don't care if Call of Duty's in there or not. I'm not going to be playing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially this year, like Call of Duty is one of them things where 1 year it's great, the next year it's terrible. 1 year it's great, the next year it's terrible. So I'm not missing out on Call of Duty.
I
not
don't play
playing
the
it often.
multiplayer anyway on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And before they were acquired, I bought occasionally on sale for $15-20 and some of the old Call of Duties that I haven't played just to play the 5-hour campaign.
Well, that's the thing that was kicking me in the arse the other month. Even after acquisition, I think it was the Call of Duty World War II that I hadn't played before, and I got it on sale for, I think it was like $4 or $5 or something. I was like, oh, super! It's like dirt cheap, and then like it was like 3 weeks later, Game Pass. I was like, you fuckers! I was like, I should have expected that, but still. But yeah, it's one of those things for me. I don't think the price. I don't think the increase justifies what they've included.
I do agree.
I think the increase is a step ahead of where they should have put it, and the reason I say that is they're telling us what they're going to deliver going forwards, not what they have delivered. So, okay, this price increase is going to pay for an additional 75 day one games next year as opposed to the day one games we're getting this year. It's going to pay for this going forward as opposed to it's not things that we are already getting or will get. It's things that they're going to do going forward. And again, I don't care about Ubisoft Classics because the games that they've put on there are games that I already own. And the vast majority of people over time that have played any of these games are owning these games already or already own these games. That's the problem with it. If it was Ubisoft Plus or whatever the hell the Pro version is, where you get day one access to every Ubisoft game, then I don't think the kickoff would have been as bad as it has been on social media.
Be value
added. Exactly.
The value would be, I mean, you can't say it's not value to have like a Fortnite crew subscription in there, right? But I don't think... It just depends on who that's for. Exactly. I don't think that typical Game Pass subscriber is also a diehard Fortnite player. There will be the exception that proves the rule, but for the most part, those players that are subscribed right now to Game Pass are not the Fortnite players, but they are the players that want to explore as many games as possible. And adding Ubisoft Plus regular with day and date releases to that would have been a value added. I agree, that is in the same spirit and sense like the actual subscription service Game Pass, right? And so that I wonder why they chose to do it like that, because they could have incrementally increased that price. They could have increased it now to $3, right? And then next year another $2. Do it the Netflix and Disney and Spotify way, right? I don't think that this is good messaging. And then, of course, they kind of had to market it as, ooh, they posted all those things that, well, now Game Pass becomes an even better value with this and that, and people are just sitting there, dude, I'm paying double the price than I did last month, and I get nothing in return. And that, I think that is why this fell so quickly on their foot. I mean, did you see that the yesterday the cancellation website where you manage your subscription services on Microsoft was down, broke.
Yep.
There's a huge backlash there, and
Yeah.
I wonder why do it that way, and especially why do it now? Because a lot of what they try to do here obviously pays into this into the way into the ecosystem that they are going in next gen, when the console basically becomes a PC, which is what we all assume, right? That the next console runs on some sort of Windows. And this move to include a Fortnite subscription in there, and the Riot games, which is mainly targeted for the PC audience, right? And including those kind of benefits in there is targeted towards a PC thing. And I was expecting some sort of shift then when their own store obviously becomes less profitable, when people start to buy their games on Steam instead of the Xbox store, because they have now access to Steam on their console and all that. And this feels like, okay, this is then they kind of increase the price of Game Pass because they kind of need to make up for that kind of lost revenue. But to do it now, they had so much backlash this year already, right? With the multi-platform strategy, with the non-clear messaging and all the controversy around that. Now they kind of had moved a little bit in the public discussion past that. People have come to the acceptance stage of, okay, our Xbox games are no longer exclusives. They've kind of accepted it. The hype is kind of good right now around the ROG Xbox Ally, especially in the more hardcore community, hardcore gaming community. Right, there is excitement around that device. The pipeline looks really good. They had a great year so far in releases. They have Ninja Gaiden 4 coming up in Game Pass. They have Outer Worlds 2 coming up and Call of Duty coming up. So everyone seemed kind of happy at the moment with Xbox again. And then for more than 3 years, we've been talking about this fuck-up team that must exist somewhere within Microsoft. I've been talking about this longer than 3 years. Because whenever Xbox has kind of like a good mind share in the community and things are seemingly going well for them, right? Someone within Microsoft, there must is what we call the fuck up team. There must be a fuck up team that walks into Phil's office and saying, "Damn, the community likes us. We are doing good. We're offering great service. We're offering great games. We're offering great console. We need to do something about this. And how can we fuck that up?" Was the very same thing with the launch of the console, right? They had such great mindshare going into that generation. They had the more powerful console. People were excited about all the acquisitions and the studios that they made, and everything was going well. And then someone decided to show Halo Infinite in a super horrible state and delay the game and not have a single first-party release within the first year. And then people were kind of over that and enjoyed Forza Horizon 5 and Halo, which came out in a month apart, right? And people were happy again. And then someone came in and decided, hey, let's not release a single game for the next 18 months just to come release a game like Redfall. Yeah. And whenever it feels like whenever the mindshare is in favor of Microsoft, and someone comes out and screws intentionally things up, right? People were happy with, Xbox starts to release on a regular cadence now first party games, and we can see this is going to continue and it's awesome. And then someone came out and had the great idea to go multi-platform. Awesome idea. And it all fell apart. The community was angry and bitching about this and that. And then people were over it now, and now they said, man, what can we do? What can we screw up? We have the games, they are good, damn it. We release regular good games. And Sarah Bond came out 2 days ago, right, and telling Gamepass $5 billion in revenue and is super profitable and everything is going well, so how can we shoot ourselves in the foot? And then let's screw up the best unique selling point we have, which is Game Pass. It offers a great value to gamers. Let's screw that up and double the price. It's beyond my understanding why Microsoft on a regular basis does this. Just to shoot themselves in the foot, right? But yeah, the question still remains.
I checked on pricing for me. So previously it was $14.99 a month for $15, and now it's $23.
I mean, that's an £8 increase, right? Yeah. Well, 12 euros more here. You can argue. I mean, like, that's a good meal at McDonald's a month, right? But you have to invest.
I mean, again, for me, I'm not going to miss £8. So I'm not really. The point isn't whether or not I will miss it. It's whether or not that price increase is justified. And right now, the price increase of $8 per month is more a forward justification. This is what we're going to do going forward. We're going to double it going forward. We're going to add 75 games day one next year. We're going to. Well, that's great, but how about you deliver it first and then talk about the increase? Not, here's an increase. This is going towards what we plan to do. Because it's a forward justification of something that might not come to pass, or we get those 75 day one games and they're all tiny indies, in which case you go, well, that was a bit of a red herring, wasn't it? Telling us that you're giving us 75 day ones, and turns out that they're all 75 games that no one gives a shit about. Like, it's all relative. If it turns out that it's 75 of the biggest AAA games day one in Game Pass next year on top of Xbox, fine. Okay, maybe that £8 a month is justifiable. Maybe then you start seeing EA games day one in Game Pass, or you start seeing some of the big blockbusters day one. Fine,
or the Ubisoft games or whatever, right?
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I'm similar like you, and probably most of the people in our community. We play a lot of games, right? That's our favorite hobby. That's why we invested time to do podcasts about this hobby. That's why we listen to podcasts that talk about gaming. And for us, probably the value is still there. The value still has pretty much declined, obviously, but it's still there. Yeah. Is it good though? I don't think it will help them grow, because it is a different question to ask yourself if you're used to, well, I'm subscribed now, I want to say 8 years, 2017 or whenever, more or less, when they started the service.
Whenever that started.
But
again, it's hard to tell because it also just automatically changed you over to Xbox Game Pass when your gold subscription changed.
Yeah.
So it kind of dates all the way. So it's hard to tell when your Game Pass subscription was there.
And I've kind of grown used to not think about whether I buy a game on Xbox or not, I just download it via Game Pass. I've kind of grown used to it, and I really do not want to go back to that thing where I need to calculate, okay, is it now cheaper if I subscribe to Game Pass or buy the games that come out this year that interest
Yeah.
me? And uh, it's a convenience factor, and it's also the convenience factor and the harsh reality, even though Xbox advertisement tries to convince you from something else, but the harsh reality is that almost only the games that are in Game Pass do have Play Anywhere. There are like 500 games that have Play Anywhere that are not in Game Pass, but 490 of those you haven't even heard of, right? So Play Anywhere, since I love my Ally, and I'm going to probably love my ROG Ally, Xbox ROG Ally, this is a massive feature for me. And with the Game Pass games, I can just go back and forth in between the handheld and the console, and I don't have to worry about that. And that is also a very strong selling point for me towards the subscription. So it's harder to kind of cancel that subscription than for a new customer to sign up to a subscription service that is priced at around the price point of $30. And I kind of hardly doubt it that this will help them grow that, because again, the Fortnite players, are they really interested in Game Pass? They want to play Fortnite and just stay on the crew subscription, which is, I don't know, $12 or something, 12 euros, or 13 euros a month, right? That's also very different than the 30 euro subscription or 27 euro subscription. So will it help them grow? I hardly doubt it. Will they lose a bunch of subscribers? For sure, right? So was it really worth it for them to get all the negative press, to kind of lose or at least devalue the unique selling point that you had? I'm really not sure. If I look at our poll in the chat, we put up a poll. I'm going to leave that open so and see if something is changing. I asked, how do you guys feel about the Game Pass price hike? Right? 30% said, well, I'm canceling. 35% said, I'm keeping it. 25% so far said, I'm going to move to a lower tier. So either people move to a lower tier or to lean towards canceling. Only a third is just keeping it. Yeah, and 10% said, I don't have Game Pass anyway. But that's the thing. Dustin in the chat says they could lose 10 million subs and still make as much money as they were before the price increase. Yeah, of course, they will be able to afford to lose a bunch of subscribers then. But is that really what they want, right?
Yeah.
They kind of want to grow that service. They want to go towards 30, 40, 50, 60 million subscribers. That's the whole idea behind this. And the lower tiers, well, we haven't talked about the lower tiers yet, whether they are an option. I mean, the essential thing is basically the thing you get when you just want to play online. All right?
Yeah.
And let's be realistic here. How long will they be able to keep that up? That you need to pay for online gaming on the console. If they really start the next gen by having a Windows-based console where you can play your games on Steam and so on, this whole paying for multiplayer or online access isn't going to be there much longer. I kind of doubt it that they will release a Windows-based console and then keep us charging for online multiplayer. Kind of doubt it. And the middle tier, well, it gives you, besides the online multiplayer access, it will grant you access to the Xbox first party games, but not day and date. And let's be real, FOMO is hard. You want to be part of the conversation, not 5 months later when it comes to the service.
Yeah.
I would be able to live with the fact that Call of Duty is the one game that doesn't come to that tier. If all the other games, if I can play my Halos and my Gears and my Fables and so on, I can live with Call of Duty not being in there. I only play the campaign anyway. But you kind of want that day one access. That's the whole awesome thing about this, right? To just get the new shiny game without paying for it. So yeah, Dutch. Where do we stand on this?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I always, and this is what probably infuriates some people in the chat when I'm talking about it, but I always play devil's advocate. I have to think about not just me, but what other people might think about things and whether that's good, bad, ugly, or otherwise. So for me, ultimately, I'm not going to really miss $8 a month for what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Do I think they've justified that price increase? No, I don't believe they've justified it right now. Will they potentially have justified that increase by the end of next year? Well, let's wait and see. Do I think it's ultimately shooting themselves in the foot if they're expecting to grow? Yes, because they had a hard time convincing people Game Pass existed anyway. And I don't think shoving it up to £23 a month is going to get people interested now. And I don't think the lower tiers are bringing up to get people on board in the first place, because you don't get access to games day one. You don't get access to Call of Duty in the lower tiers. You only get access to Call of Duty in the highest tier. So for those that are wanting Call of Duty on Game Pass, they're going to have to be on the ultimate version, which is €23 a month or €27 or £30.
Yep.
So it depends on what the need is of that person. Do I think it's going to entice new people to come into the service? No. Do I think a lot of people that are on the service already that were on the fence of thinking, am I really getting playing Game Pass enough to continue this subscription? You'll see those cancel because of price increase. They were already debating whether or not they were going to continue using the service, and now they've increased the price by $8. Then they go, nah, okay, that's it, definitely not. And then those people who are happy with the service and do use it quite often, they'll stick around. Yeah. So do I think it's going to entice more people to come in? No. Do I think people that were on the fence about whether or not to keep subscription service will continue? No. And will the people that are happy with the service continue? Yes. I just don't think it does them any favors. Ultimately, yeah. I don't think it does them any favors.
I agree. I agree there. I don't think that they will be able to grow the service with that kind of pricing. I'm reading the chat here. A couple of good arguments are there. Chicken Eye says, I just joined the middle tier yesterday and my subscription started today. Bro, I'm very limited with what I can choose. I'm not even sure if these tiers are already in place. Do we know?
They are.
They are?
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah.
All right.
I only know because my Game Pass ran out and I haven't resubscribed yet. But that's because the only game I'm playing on Xbox at the minute is FC26. I literally I haven't turned the Xbox on recently. So when I resubscribe, I know now I can select the options, resubscribe, and Ultimate's there for $23.
Face 23 BKNY sends in a $2 super chat and says, Xbox is milking their fan base. What's left of it? Well, it's definitely like devaluing the thing, whether it's still worth it, right? It's very subjective now. But of course, we, the community, are paying this price increase, right? And that's definitely something. And Dustin says, on the other hand, how good is Game Pass going to look when the first-party games start to cost $80? Yeah, I mean, the price increase that they've moved back on Outer Worlds 2. Yeah, but we all know that eventually with a Gears and a Forza and a Fable, those probably will be 80 euros or dollar games. Also a factor there, yeah. And Portal Player says the PC Game Pass is now the best deal. It's still what did he say? 16 bucks a month.
Yeah, it was like £13 something. I'll just double check here because I've still got the
Yeah.
Xbox app open. PC Game Pass is £13.49 a month, so £13.49.
Yeah.
Essential is £6.99, so that's the basic version, £7.
So
Premium is £10.99, so £11. It says 200 plus games playable on PC, console, or more. Select new games within 1 year.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Select new games within 1 year.
It's not all not all.
Yeah.
And definitely not Call of Duty. See, my point is, I think, and that's also the point of Portal Player is, well, is PC the thing now? Because it's obviously a lot cheaper to just use PC Game Pass. Thinking ahead again, I mean, the ROG Ally, Xbox ROG Ally X is already a PC, and we all assume the next gen console is going to be a Windows-based PC console. Will it be able to keep that up, or is PC Game Pass then also going to increase and adjust to that price point?
No, right? you see, because Xbox, this is Xbox is going to have that loophole. But this PC hybrid console that we're putting out to consoles, so therefore.
Therefore, that's the thing. But I'm not sure if they can keep that up with paying for online multiplayer if your thing is basically a PC, and if you're. But then on the other hand, the casuals, well, they just turn that thing on. They don't care what it runs on and whether it's actually a PC. It's kind of a hard balance, right? Xbox Gamer says in the chat, Microsoft is not trying to reach 100 million users anymore. I think they're settling for the hardcore. It kind of feels like that. I agree. It definitely kind of feels like that, because if you want to really grow that thing, you need to be way more aggressive in offering a cheap.
Yeah, and they're just not.
Price and again, I said it earlier, a new subscriber sees that price point, and you're not going to check that out for $30.
Yeah.
I hardly doubt it. Yeah. But he follows up with another good argument. It's a win-win for Microsoft. You buy or subscribe to Game Pass. Either way, they have your money, right? That's what it is. That is
yes and no. They're not helping themselves because, again, on the flip side, they're not selling consoles. So, so it's not like more people are going to buy games because more people aren't buying the console. They've got the same audience, same people buying the same games.
Yeah.
People will just do what they did in the past. When a game comes around that they want to play that is on Xbox Game Pass, they'll just get Xbox Game Pass for the month. If they don't feel like buying that game, they'll play the game and then they'll cancel the sub.
That is true. Yeah.
Like people do with Ubisoft.
Yeah. I agree. Our poll has changed a little. Now 44% of our community saying they are keeping it. 28% are saying they're canceling it, and 20% said we are moving to a lower tier. I'm gonna keep it for now. But that's mainly because I already have like another 3 months left or so. And I will see how this turns out. If we get more infos on what the 75 day one games will actually be. I mean, realistically, I'm playing so much. I probably will keep it. I won't be happy about it. But of course, you have to see that sometimes also in a grander scheme, you already mentioned earlier, you kind of readjusted the amount of subscriptions you had. If I look at my household, the wife definitely needs a Netflix subscription. The kids definitely need the Disney subscription, and then we have the Spotify, and we have Amazon Prime, and we have this and that. And if I'm adding up my monthly subscription costs here in this household, this is kind of getting out of hands. And at some point, you kind of have to make a cut at something. Yeah. I'd rather cancel Disney, to be honest, than Gamepass. But then I have to deal with the kids, right? But yeah, it's unfortunate. We all knew a price hike would come at some point. I just was very, very much surprised by how big of a step they are taking at once. I would have thought they, ramp it up incrementally. $2-3 this year, and another $2-3 next year, and then the outcry wouldn't have been that big. And if they add a couple of heavy hitters next year, like a Fable and a Gears and a Forza and something Halo to it, it also feels a little different if you don't get like this 50% increase right out of the gate. Bam, there it is, right? It's poor messaging, but it's kind of what we are used to.
It is, yeah. Microsoft are kings of poor messaging.
Yeah. Anyway, Dutch, any last thing you want to add to this? Because we will definitely revisit that in a minute when we get to the community questions. We got this week more than a dozen of community questions in, and a lot of them are centered around this topic again. One quick news bite, though, before we get to the community questions. We're going to get a Halo deep dive this month.
Are we?
Yes, yes, we will. It will be held at the Halo World Championship.
Okay.
And they've released a teaser video that the future of Halo is going to be debuted this at the Halo World Championship. So, what do you expect there? Will we see the next Halo? Is it going to be the announcement of the long rumored remake in Unreal Engine 5 of the Halo? What do you expect?
Oh, probably the remake. I don't think the Unreal Engine 5 one's anywhere close to being presentable.
Yeah, I agree. I would assume that it's Halo. I mean, Phil has teased during this June showcase, right? That next year, for the 25th anniversary of Xbox, they will have.
Yeah, but it can also I don't even think it's going to be. I think it'll be the Halo remaster in Unreal as their first kind of taster as to what Unreal looks like.
Yes, I
agree.
Halo. Yeah, and I think we will see that.
I don't think it'll be the next Halo.
I doubt it. Maybe we'll get another glimpse of similar to the teaser trailer that we got when a year ago, or when they released or announced that we're moving to Unreal 5, and we got some like in-engine impressions. Maybe we see more things like that, and then they announce kind of the upcoming Halo remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, in Unreal, that will be coming out next year. I definitely think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dutch. Let's move to the community questions. Like every week, people can write in. We put up posts every Wednesday on all the social channels, on YouTube, on X, on Blue Sky, and so on. People can write in questions, and our community does so usually very frequently, and we super appreciate them. We hope to get through all of them, because this week we got tons of them. We don't hide them behind any paywall, so everyone can write in. And the first question comes from Charles Wilson, and is one of the many questions that is related to this Game Pass thing. It's more like a statement. Upper limit cap have now been newly introduced to Xbox rewards. You have seen that in the announcement, that they put in something like you can earn up to like $50 worth of rewards with the premium subscription, and $100 with the ultimate subscription. So is this kind of a limit that they've introduced there, or is this just okay, this is when you play all the stuff, then you will earn the 50 or the $100?
That's hard to know. I don't know is the answer. I don't know what the limit's going to be. It sounds like there's an upper limit, though.
Kind
but
of,
they don't want to give out too much
kind
money.
of does sound like that. But I honestly, Charles, I unfortunately, I really don't know. I need to check on that. Agent X-Force writes in, what are your feelings on the price increase for Game Pass? In your opinion, is Game Pass still a good value for the money? Easy edition of Ubisoft Classic, Fortnite Crew, a good enough reason to increase the prices by so much? I think we pretty much covered that, Agent X-Force.
Yeah.
But he has also a follow-up question. Has the recent anti-consumer price increase from Xbox, including the massive price increase for Game Pass, put you off purchasing a ROG Xbox Ally X and S? Or S?
No.
No, I didn't cancel that. Why would I? It's a PC, it's not an Xbox. Even though marketing tells you something different. It's a great PC handheld that I'm very much looking forward to, that will also allow me to play at least some of the games that do have Play Anywhere. It allows me to play my Steam library. It allows me to play my very little Epic library, or very small Epic library. But no, for me it is not. I don't see this as an Xbox console, because that's not what it is. I just see it as the successor to the already existing ROG Ally, and I do love that device very much.
Yeah.
So, no.
For me, it's the convenience factor of gaming,
Exactly.
as opposed to the subscriptions that are on it.
Exactly.
After again having the Switch where everything is paid, it doesn't really matter on that aspect. It's more the convenience factor of having mobile gaming.
What definitely is not going to happen is that I'm going to stop playing games, right?
No.
This just allows me to do it in my own convenience. And again, the handheld is not just for travels. The handheld is being played way more at home than on travels, but it is just a very convenient way to play games. So, Sith Lord sends in a channel member chat for being a channel member for 38 months. Thank you so much, brother, for the continued support. He says, I have Game Pass till 2029, so it doesn't affect him. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have, right, subscribed for a long time in advance, which seems now an even better deal than ever before. Yeah. Mambo Jazz writes in and asks the question, what is now the best deal in gaming?
That's subjective.
It's very subjective, right? I mean, the best deal in gaming, if you play really all the stuff that comes to Game Pass, if you do play them all, that's still a fantastic value. There's no doubt about that. If you don't care for day one releases, tons of sales on Steam, on the Xbox Store, on the PlayStation Store, wherever, is probably a very, very good deal for yourself. Yeah, it is so subjective to say what is now the best deal in gaming. Yeah. I mean, the value of Game Pass has decreased. Is it still worth it? That is something everyone needs to decide for themselves, right? Then we have Berserker. This writes in £22 for Game Pass Ultimate in the UK, probably already hitting a red line for some people. How high can they price the Ultimate tier until they start pricing a lot of people out of the service? I think that's already happening. If our poll that we just close is any kind of indication, yeah, I mean, 30% said I'm going to cancel, and roughly 19%, so roughly 20%, are at least moving to a lower tier. So, yeah. They can't do...
I mean, I would definitely won't. I definitely will not move to a lower tier because there is zero value in the lower tiers.
The middle tier, the premium tier, when you are resistant towards FOMO, the middle tier is
kind of, but not all games go into that.
Yeah. But if the heavy hitters
don't get
like
Call
your
of Duty.
Gears and your Forzas go in there.
Yeah, but even then, there's no guarantee that, though, is there?
Yeah.
Because all they've said is like some titles day one, essentially, not all titles day one. And they've also stated that Call of Duty's not in any of those tiers. And a lot of the big thing for getting people onto Game Pass that they had because of Call of Duty.
True.
Will they keep it for, considering they played just Call of Duty, will they keep it for the sake of just playing Call of Duty on... Nah, they'll just buy the game.
Game Pass is only good value if you play a range of different games. It's not. That's why I'm saying I don't know if the Fortnite thing is really that much of a benefit to them, because the typical Fortnite player plays Fortnite and nothing else. Maybe occasionally FIFA, but then that's about it, right? The Game Pass idea is to play as many different games as possible. That's the whole idea of Game Pass. Crazy Louis Gaming writes and asks this: when are you doing videos on FSSR and all the other stuff these consoles can do? I mean, those are old consoles. I did those videos like 5 years ago. But to your point of when am I going to start doing edited videos again? When I have the time. But ever since I moved to the new job 3 years ago, I just don't find the time to do edited videos. Those are so time consuming to make, and I really truly miss doing them, but I just don't have the time at the moment, in between job, family, the podcast, and the time I want to take to myself to actually play games. I just can't squeeze the time in at the moment. Sergeant Sentinel writes in, aside from Wolverine and Spider-Man 3, do you see PlayStation having any more heavy hitters this gen? I'm not even sure if Spider-Man 3 is this gen.
Yeah. I mean, Insomniac are very good though, so I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past them, but I mean, Wolverine is a 26 game now. We all expect the next gen to start around for PlayStation around 28. That's 2 years later. Maybe as a launch game for the next gen. Intergalactic is the other heavy hitter that I expect to be released at the very end of this gen.
I mean, I don't even think this is the thing that I'm controversial a little bit, maybe for some, but I think it'll become a reality check for Naughty Dog to realize that the only reason people held them in such high regard was because of The Last of Us, because I don't suspect Galactic will do anywhere near as well as they hope it will.
I'm not sure, because
I don't think it will. I don't think the audience is there for it.
I'm not sure whether justified or not. Naughty Dog is somehow held to a different
because of Uncharted and because of The Last of Us.
Yeah, absolutely, because of those games. Yeah,
but at the same time, they've milked both of those titles.
That's also very true.
This is the first new thing they've done. I don't think Intergalactic will hit the heights of those games. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll hit the mark.
Let's wait and see. If they, this game will get its tens regardless, because it's Naughty Dog, right? It will
kind of
pretty awesome.
On the flip side, if you hated it or didn't hate it, Uncharted had a film that went along with it that had Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. They also had the fan film that was done by I've forgotten his name now. That was a big actor that created the fan film that had quite a big few actors in it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic. And if they actually went with those people to do Uncharted film, it would have done significantly better because they were the right people.
Yeah. Agree there.
And then flip side, you had the Last of Us TV program, which did well up to season 2.
Yeah, but they've milked Last of Us too much with the remaster of the remaster of the remaster releases and
exactly. And it had a fan following for that. Yes, the diehard Naughty Dog Last of Us fans will pick up the game, but I don't think it's going to achieve the heights that they're expecting it to achieve.
Yeah, let's see. But
and I think the same issue is going to be on Santa Monica when they release their non-God of War game for the first time.
Yeah. True.
That's like, it is like, and we have to, it's exactly the same on Xbox, by the way. If the Forza Horizon team weren't doing Fable and went for a brand new game, would it do the same levels as Fable or Horizon? Probably not.
Yeah.
If the Gears Coalition did anything other than Gears of War, would it hit the same heights? No, because it's not Gears of War. If it's the same thing, and Sony expect these companies to achieve these similar heights, and they won't, because it isn't a big IP name. It is a fresh new name, and yes, you want them to be successful, but I don't think it's going to hit the heights that they want it to hit. I don't. And this is the only issue that I see for Sony going forwards is, yes, they've got these games that the hardcore will play, but is Intergalactic a game that the casuals will pick up? I don't believe it will be.
Let's see about that. With these Naughty Dog games, it's kind of weird because the media is gonna praise them so much. There's gonna be a lot of hype around it, and this sometimes catches on then into the wider audience. So yeah, well, let's see. Let's move to Ninzolov's question. He asks this: what's gonna be game of the year this year? Well, my personal game of the years so far, undoubtedly Expedition 33.
Yeah, I would probably say that myself as well.
But is it going to win at the Chiquilis? If that's the question.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably. I agree.
You'll probably have Elden Ring win it again.
For some reason, because it got an update, a bug fix.
Yeah.
Bug fix of the year. Now, honestly, I'm not sure what's gonna win this year at the Keeleys. I could see being nominated. Ghost of Yotei is gonna be there because that's the only Sony game.
No, it'll definitely get nominated.
Definitely,
can guarantee it.
Yeah, but yeah, Silksong is probably going to be in there. Hades, I could see Hades 2 actually win.
I can't. I don't think Silksong will be in Game of the Year conversations. I don't.
It's probably not in my personal conversation.
I don't think it'll be in the conversation. No, in general, I don't think it'll be in the conversation.
I'm not sure. Could be. I think Hades 2 has a pretty good chance. Expedition 33 would definitely deserve it.
Yeah. Expedition 100%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the big games we've had this year that would be justifiable for a Game of the Year.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we played some pretty good games this year, but I really, really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Shadows, but it's definitely not going to be in the Game of the Year conversation.
No.
Borderlands 4, as much as I'm enjoying it, it's probably not going to be in there. I doubt that Battlefield or Call of Duty will be in that conversation. Nope. Avowed or Outer Worlds 2 is also probably not going to be there in that conversation. Ninja Gaiden, I doubt it also. I think
like you say, we've played a lot of good games this year, but has it been a year of absolute masterpieces?
Yes.
No, like they say, there's a handful where you would think,
yeah, that 33 is probably the best game I've played in years, but
yeah, but on that level consistently this year, no, I can't say I have, and that's part of the reason why I haven't been gaming as much, because outside of Expedition, there hasn't been anything that I've wanted to seriously jump on in game for that's really kept my interest long enough.
I can't say that, because
I don't think Doom Eternal will be either.
I could see Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yes, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will get nominated. Yeah, I agree with that.
I could see that
for multiple reasons. There was like such a big, a lot of positive surroundings about that, and Game of the Year conversations about that when that came out.
I mean, Doom: The Dark Ages was awesome, but these are not the kind of games that Keighley would nominate. Yeah.
I hate to say, there was a lot of great games this year, but there wasn't a lot of must plays this year.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't personally, I would say Doom: The Dark Ages was fun, but is it a must play? No. Avowed was, I loved it, but is it a must play? No. Expedition's the only one I would say, yeah, absolutely must play.
Yes,
but even then, it's a lot. Even those who don't like turn-based did enjoy it. So I would say try it out if you don't like the turn-based, because you will enjoy the game fantastic story, great art style, great characters, great combat, great world. It was a very interesting game. Again, there's so many great games, but not many must plays this year.
Yeah, that is a fair point. Gonna be interesting this year. I feel like a lot of the indie games or smaller games, I could definitely see Hades being nominated, even win.
Yeah,
Honestly, I could see Blueprints being nominated. I could
yeah,
see Expedition 33 being nominated. Silk Song, you would rule it out, but I could see it being nominated. There's plenty of those smaller games that will be in that discussion. All right, Sith Lord writes in. Should Xbox have bought us dinner before they charge us? I mean,
yeah. Before they try and take us to bed.
yeah,
Yes, absolutely, they should have. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Woodstar writes in and asks this. Sensible takes on Game Pass changes that actually highlight the added value and the fact it's still a great deal. People acting like it should be cheaper because they don't use X, etc. Do they also ask Spotify or Netflix to be cheaper because they definitely don't watch everything either? I think that's a very different point of view,
Yeah.
discussion, because the thing is, we didn't play all the Game Pass games. There are
Yeah.
500 games in Game Pass, and nobody played them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a different thing than to
I
put.
think another 30 Ubisoft classics isn't
If
going to change
Netflix,
that.
exactly, if Netflix starts to add, I don't know, a free postcard delivery service into that service and charges you $10 more for it, would you be happy about that? Right?
Yeah.
It's not, we are not complaining about them putting in a game that we don't play. It's a different service for a
Yeah.
user base that is for the most part probably not interested in Fortnite and the Riot games, right? I don't think that's the issue.
Yeah.
I want to shout out the Big Bridge. The Big Bridge writes in every show we do. He always has
Yep.
very unique questions, and that's why I want to close the community questions with the Big Bridge question of the week, right?
Yep.
He says it's an easy question this week. You're on a nice, relaxing. Pardon. You're on a nice, relaxing picnic with a portable console of your choice. What's the best video game, snacks, and beverage combo to carry with you on your trip?
The best video game snacks.
No, the best combination for a portable console of your choice. The combination of game, which snack, and which beverage.
Oof. Jesus Christ.
So,
Well, good one.
the thing is, with a good PC handheld, you can play almost anything in a very, very good way.
Yeah.
But it is a tough question. So I'm going to start with the snack and the beverage. You will never go wrong with a nice cold beer. When you're on travels and you're sitting there at the beach. And
Nice cold cider for me.
ice cold beer. Nothing beats that. And a snack needs to be something that isn't sticky, that
Yeah.
will attach to your controller or your portable console. I love gummy bears, man. I love them.
Dry roasted peanuts.
Ooh, that's also a good one.
Yeah.
That's also a good one. And then, what game to play? I would suggest something not too story heavy.
See, this is why I like RPGs, especially for this. Is yes, they can be story heavy, but they also can boil into I'm just going to go and beat shit up for a bit. I'm going to go and get my characters leveled up. I'm just going to have some fun fighting people, and then I can get to the next point and then save it and then go on.
And it makes sense because you get that feeling of reward, that sense of progression, that So, but
and in terms of game, again, this is why I love Pokemon, is because it is, yes, traditionally an RPG, but it is a turn-based RPG. Ultimately, it's never changed in that regard. It's always been a turn-based role-playing game.
Yeah.
It just has monsters that you fight with as opposed to being party members like Final Fantasy. The difference is, unlike a game like Final Fantasy where you've only got a party of 5 people or 4 people, or depending on what the game is, to choose from, they're the only ones you level up throughout the entirety. With a game like Pokemon, you've got hundreds to choose from that you can level up and mix and match, and they've all got different strengths and weaknesses and things like that. So it's got like a little bit more flexibility on what you can do with it.
Agree.
So that's why
I'm going with Octopath Traveler.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
Because again, you've got 8 party members.
Yeah.
You can choose from, level up, have different stories.
Yeah, turn-based. You get this.
You can also go with 100 heroes.
Yeah, that's also a good one.
Because then you've got 100 to go from.
True that. Although I never played. I loved
they've got new additions. They've got
Heroes,
DLC now.
but I always played the same characters. I never switched. I got so used to them, and
DLC as well.
There's a DLC.
Yeah, new DLC for it.
Ooh.
New story DLC.
Sweet. Nice. All right, Dutch. With that, we come to an end of this show. I want to say a big thank you to this awesome community who joined us here today. Had a very interesting conversation with us here in the chat. I want to say a big thank you, of course, to the listeners who do listen after the fact, either here on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Do leave your thoughts on the topics in the comments. Would be very interesting to hear what you all think about the whole Game Pass situation. Dutch, we will be back next week, the regular time, next Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Europe, 7 p.m. UK time, or 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
And before we let everyone out of here, let everyone know where they can find you and what you've coming up, man.
Work.
I ask you this every week, and you always answer the same way. So we're just next week. I'll try to just ask you, let everyone know where they can find you, because we all know you're busy with work.
Yes. No, you can find me on right here on the World of Gaming. Of course, I didn't have time to set up and do my stream this week because of work, so I just jumped straight in and come on here. So the World of Gaming, or mix up if I get home from work quick enough. And of course, that relies heavily on how much news there is on the week as well, because what we don't want to do is waste you guys' time. And yes, we can do these little off topics where we just have a good chat about historic games or things and stuff like that, but we also want to make it worthwhile. So
we need to do a special episode at some point about the history of gaming and go through some of the really retro generations,
some of the classic stuff.
Some of the classic stuff. We need to do a dedicated show for that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we do an interactive
that could last. To be fair, that could last hours.
To be fair, yeah. Definitely, man.
Yeah. But yes, hope everybody has a lovely weekend. Get your gaming in if you can, or if you've got the time to, and hope everyone's well. And yes, enjoy and hopefully see you next week. News Independent.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't add anything more to that. We hope to see you back next week. I do hope as well you guys will enjoy the weekend and play some games. And that we see you guys around. And don't forget to game on.